I was not planning on making this video, but AT&T stock has fallen over 7% this week. It just keeps declining. The company is now at its lowest price in over 10 years. Since this is one of the largest positions in my long-term dividend stock portfolio, I've been getting asked a lot about my opinion. So in this video, I'm going to address the question, why does AT&T stock keep falling? My name is Zach and you should leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video. I put together a playlist of every video I've made about AT&T so you can go back and refresh yourself on how my thoughts have evolved. This downtrend in stock price started all the way back in May 2021 when it was announced that AT&T's Warner Media would be spun out to join with Discovery, forming the new company Warner Bros. Discovery. Here's a quick recap on that. The deal is expected to go through in mid-2022 and AT&T's shareholders will be receiving stock representing 71% of the new company. The bad news is that AT&T's dividend would be reduced following the completion of the deal. After the split, the new payout ratio will be between 40 and 43% on an expected $20 billion of free cash flow. The current payout ratio is around 60%, so not only will they generate less overall cash flow due to the spinning out of the media business, but they are giving a lower percentage of it back as a dividend. That's the gist of the deal. I made a full video about it at the time, which is linked here. Since this deal was announced, the stock has been in a freefall. There's large uncertainty about the business changes and no sight of any positive catalyst until the split occurs. Not a good recipe for stock price appreciation. On top of this, AT&T's shareholder base was highly focused on the dividend, so many people were very disappointed by that news. So why did AT&T stock fall even more this week? Well, there are a couple of things. On Monday, Barclays trimmed the price targets for both AT&T and Verizon. They lowered Verizon from $56 to $55 and AT&T from $34 to $30. These lowered targets are still well above what both companies are trading at. The interesting thing about AT&T's downgrade is that they cited, quote, challenging technicals. So this is not a pure assessment based on value. Another reason for stock price decline may be that they just had their dividend execution date, so some dividend swing traders may be exiting after making sure they get their dividend. Also, we're getting closer to that eventual dividend cut in mid-2022, so there could be a continued erosion of that dividend-focused shareholder base. Another thing this week was a negative news story about how AT&T helped fund the creation of One America News, or OAN. This I don't care about at all, but it likely added to negative sentiment. AT&T also owns CNN, so it's quite obvious they're just following the money. The overarching theme about all the negative catalysts this week is that none of it has anything to do with the actual fundamentals of the business. The company just had a very solid Q2 earnings report. They're currently trading at a 7.8 forward PE and 6.2 times free cash flow based on the trailing 12 months. I've made some in-depth stock reviews on the company and have thought it's been undervalued for quite some time. That's what I've determined from my analysis. So what's changed? Nothing. A falling stock price can often discourage investors and lead to panic selling. This is why it's important to understand the underlying business and why you invested. Famous investor Peter Lynch once told a story that I think relates to this current scenario.
Kaiser Industries had gone from $26 a share to $16. I said, how much lower can it go? It's 16. So I think we bought one of the biggest blocks ever on the American Stock Exchange of Kaiser Industries at 14. I said, it's gone from 26 to 16. How much lower can it go? Well, at 10, I called my mother and said, Mom, you got to look at this Kaiser Industries. How much lower can it go? It's gone from 26 to 10. Well, it went to 6, it went to 5, it went to 4, it went to 3. And at 3, I figured out, there's something very wrong here because Kaiser Industries owns 40% of Kaiser Steel. They own 40% of Kaiser Aluminum. They own 32% of Kaiser Cement. They own Kaiser Broadcasting. They own Kaiser Sand and Gravel, Kaiser Engineers. They own Jeep. They own business after business. And the whole company at 3 was selling at about $75 million. At that point, it was equal to buying one Boeing 747. I said, there's something wrong with this company selling for $75 million. I was a little premature at 16, but I said, everything's fine, and eventually this will work out. And what they did is they gave away all their shares to their shareholders. They passed out shares in Kaiser Cement. They passed out shares in Kaiser Aluminum. They passed out their public shares in Kaiser Steel. They sold all the other businesses, and you get about $50 a share. But if you didn't understand the company, if you're just buying on the fact the stock had gone from 26 to 16, and then it went to 10, what would you do when it went to 9? What would you do when it went to 8? What would you do when it went to 7? This is the problem that people have, is they sell stocks because they didn't know why they bought it, then it went down, and they don't know what to do now. Do you flip a coin? Do you walk around the block? What do you do? If you don't understand the company, you have this problem when they go down.
If you don't understand the company, then you don't know what to do when it goes down. In my analysis, I've determined that AT&T is undervalued. Their core broadband and cellular business is extremely reliable and will generate slowly growing free cash flow for decades. I think the media properties are of high quality, and they have real potential to be one of the largest streaming services. Similar to Lynch's story, AT&T is splitting up its telecom and media business. The CEO even said that the companies will be more fairly valued separately than together. I tend to agree. After AT&T and Warner Bros. Discovery finally separate, then I think the narrative will begin to change. I'm using the declining stock price as a buying opportunity. This week, I've bought 30 more shares of AT&T, which you would know if you follow me on Twitter. I would be buying way more, but I'm actually light on cash at the moment. I have not yet determined whether I'd sell some other stocks and reallocate that money in AT&T. It's on the table, but I haven't decided. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to my next AT&T dividend, where I can reinvest it all into buying more shares at a great price. Maybe you can hope Q3 earnings will change the direction of the stock price, but I have no idea. Thank you for watching Dividend Data. I'd greatly appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can support the channel over on Patreon, where you can gain access to a community Discord server. The link is in the description. Please leave a comment below, and thank you for watching.